Did you know that one bite of the wrong cheese could quietly raise your risk of a heart attack or stroke without you ever feeling a thing? It sounds unbelievable, I know, but for millions of older adults in America, this hidden danger is sitting right in their fridge. You see, after 60, our bodies change. The same cheese we've loved for decades may now quietly harm our heart, clog our arteries, or even trigger brain fog. And yet we keep eating it, thinking we're making a healthy choice. But here's the good news. Some cheeses can actually help you live longer. Today, I'll show you 5 cheeses you should never touch again, and 5 that you absolutely should eat every day to protect your heart, your memory, and your independence. This might be the most important cheese list you've ever heard. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what time of day is it for you? Drop a comment below. Even the smallest moment in your day matters to me. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another tip that could protect your health. 4 types of cheese you should eat. Protect your heart, bones, and brain. Swiss Gruyere. Here's something most Americans over 65 never hear from their doctor. Some cheeses can actually help you stay stronger, longer. And one of the best-kept secrets might just be hiding behind the holes in a slice of Swiss Gruyere. This cheese, made from raw milk of grass-fed cows in the alpine meadows of Switzerland, holds powerful anti-inflammatory compounds your aging body can benefit from. It's packed with friendly bacteria that not only support digestion, but also help calm the low-grade inflammation linked to joint pain, fatigue, and high blood pressure. If you've been struggling with stiffness in the morning or muscle weakness even after a full night's sleep, it may not just be getting old. There's a deeper cellular story, and that's where Swiss Gruyere steps in. This cheese boosts a molecule called glutathione, often called the master antioxidant in medical journals from Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins. As we age, our natural glutathione levels drop, making us more vulnerable to toxins, chronic inflammation, and even memory decline. But just 1 ounce of aged Gruyere can help replenish this crucial compound and protect your cells from oxidative stress. Take Harold from Des Moines, Iowa. At 72, he was feeling foggy, tired, and losing leg strength. After adding Swiss Gruyere to his lunch twice a week, in a warm sandwich on whole grain bread, he began noticing sharper focus and steadier steps within a month. It wasn't magic, it was science, finally working with his body, not against it. Gruyere is also high in vitamin B12, something nearly 1 in 4 older Americans are deficient in, especially those on heartburn medications. B12 keeps your nerves firing correctly and helps build red blood cells, which means better circulation and energy. For best results, let the cheese come to room temperature or gently melt it into soup, never boil it. Pair it with a slice of whole wheat toast for added fiber, and you've got a heart-healthy, brain-friendly snack approved by nutritionists across the US. Because aging in America shouldn't mean giving up strength. It should mean learning how to protect it, 1 delicious bite at a time. 2. Grass-fed raw cheddar. For many older adults in America, digestion becomes slower, meals feel heavier, and the joy of eating fades without clear reason. But what if the answer wasn't in taking more pills, but in choosing the right kind of cheese? Let me tell you about grass-fed raw cheddar, a simple food that's doing extraordinary things for seniors across the US. This isn't the block of bright orange cheddar you find on every grocery shelf. This is raw, aged cheddar made from grass-fed cows, preserving the live enzymes and natural probiotics your body truly needs. These living compounds help break down food more easily, reduce bloating, and ease the quiet inflammation that builds up in your gut over time. As we age, our stomach produces less acid, and our intestines struggle to absorb nutrients like they used to. That's one reason so many older Americans feel tired even after eating well. But probiotics in raw cheddar support the gut lining and boost absorption, making every bite of food more nourishing. It's a natural way to help your body heal from the inside out, without harsh supplements or complicated diets. Mary, a retired teacher from Ohio, shared that since adding raw cheddar with her lunch salads, her acid reflux nearly disappeared. She pairs it with sauerkraut or pickled beets, classic fermented sides that work in harmony with the cheese's good bacteria. And science agrees. Research from American Gut Project shows this combination can increase butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that reduces inflammation and protects your colon. Beyond digestion, grass-fed cheddar offers a powerful mix of vitamin A, D, and K2, nutrients essential for bone health and circulation. K2 is especially vital, as it directs calcium to your bones instead of your arteries, helping reduce risk of heart disease, which still affects 1 in 4 Americans over 65. The key is to keep it raw. Don't heat it over 120 degrees, and eat it in small portions, ideally 1 to 1.5 ounces. Because in this chapter of life, what we choose to eat can either slow us down or gently lift us up. 3. Parmigiano Reggiano. In many American homes, especially among folks over 65, cheese is more than food. It's comfort, tradition, and a familiar taste of family dinners gone by. But not all cheeses are created equal, and one in particular, Parmigiano Reggiano, has been quietly offering health benefits far beyond what most of us realize. This is real Parmesan, aged in Italy for over 2 years, crafted using centuries-old methods that naturally break down the protein into simpler, easier-to-digest forms. For older adults who struggle with bloating, slow digestion, or weak appetite, this kind of protein matters deeply. It gives your body exactly what it needs to repair tissue, build strength, and keep your muscles working as they should, without burdening your gut. Each ounce of Parmigiano Reggiano carries all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein, something we usually only get from meat or fish. And here's the kicker. It also contains more absorbable calcium than a full glass of milk, without the lactose. For the nearly 30 million Americans with lactose intolerance, especially common after age 60, this cheese is a game changer. But there's something even more soothing about it. This cheese contains casomorphins, tiny natural compounds that interact with the same brain receptors as calming neurotransmitters. That's why many Italians eat a small chunk after dinner. It not only aids digestion, but also gently prepares the body for rest. John from Arizona told me he started replacing his nightly dessert with an ounce of Parmesan and a few drops of aged balsamic. He sleeps better, feels lighter, and says his knees don't ache as much climbing the porch steps every morning. It's not magic, it's thoughtful nutrition, meeting the needs of an aging body. To get the full benefit, eat it at room temperature and savor it slowly, just like they do in Bologna or Modena. Because growing older in America isn't about restriction. It's about rediscovering simple foods that truly work with your body, not against it. 4. Aged Gouda. As we grow older here in the US, keeping our bones strong and our hearts clear becomes more than a goal. It becomes a quiet, daily mission. But what if a small slice of aged cheese, enjoyed slowly in your own kitchen, could play a part in that mission? Let me tell you about aged Gouda, a cheese that many seniors across America are rediscovering, not just for the taste, but for what it does inside the body. You see, aged Gouda is one of the richest food sources of vitamin K2, a nutrient that rarely gets the spotlight, yet quietly protects your heart and bones. K2 acts like a traffic cop inside your bloodstream. It tells calcium where to go, directing it into your bones instead of letting it clog your arteries. That means fewer hard deposits in the vessels leading to your heart, and stronger bones that can hold you steady on the stairs. In towns from Oregon to Florida, more doctors are now recommending aged Gouda as part of a smart aging diet. And the benefits don't stop there. Because it's aged for over 12 months, Gouda contains almost no lactose, making it easier to digest for folks with sensitive stomachs. Plus, it's loaded with postbiotics. Those are the helpful compounds made by good bacteria that reduce gut inflammation and support emotional well-being. Carol, a widow living in Michigan, says her mood improved and bloating disappeared after she began adding an ounce of Gouda to her lunch every day. She enjoys it with sliced apple or whole grain crackers, a pairing that helps the cheese's nutrients absorb even more smoothly. Scientists at Harvard have found that vitamin K2 can slow the progression of arterial stiffness, a major risk factor for heart attack in people over 65. And since most Americans don't get enough of it from diet alone, aged cheeses like Gouda offer a practical, tasty solution. So the next time you visit the dairy aisle, think of your bones, your heart, and your peace of mind. Sometimes the best medicine comes not in a bottle, but in a bite. 4 types of cheese to avoid. Reasons and consequences for the elderly. Blue cheese. There's something bold and familiar about blue cheese. The sharp smell, the strong bite, the way it finishes a steak or a salad in American diners. But after 60, what seems like a flavorful treat might quietly be working against your health in ways most seniors don't suspect. Blue cheese is rich in a compound called tyramine, which may sound harmless but has a serious effect on aging bodies. Tyramine can constrict blood vessels and spike blood pressure, especially in people taking antidepressants or medications for Parkinson's. And it's not just about pressure. Tyramine and histamine, another compound found in blue cheese, can trigger insomnia, headaches, and that heavy, restless feeling that lingers overnight. For older adults across the US, especially those already dealing with sleep trouble or anxiety, these reactions are more common than we think, and yet they're rarely linked to food. Helen from Charleston, South Carolina, used to think her nighttime palpitations were stress until her doctor asked what cheese she liked on her salads. She switched, and the episodes stopped within 2 weeks. But there's another layer. Blue cheese is made with mold, and while most of it is considered safe, it does produce mycotoxins, substances that can build up in your system over time. These toxins have been linked to joint pain, brain fog, chronic fatigue, and even inflammatory arthritis in some sensitive individuals. The tricky part? Blue cheese has such a strong flavor that it can hide when it's gone bad, meaning spoiled bites may slip past unnoticed. And for older Americans with weaker immunity or slower digestion, food-borne illness from moldy cheese can be far more dangerous. It's okay to love bold flavors, but it's also okay to choose something your body will thank you for later. Because aging well in America isn't about giving things up. It's about knowing which habits serve your health and which ones slowly wear it down. And sometimes The smallest change, like saying goodbye to blue cheese, can mean a steadier heart and a clearer mind. 2. Pre-shredded cheese. At first glance, pre-shredded cheese seems like one of the small conveniences that makes life a little easier, especially for older adults across America. It saves time, it melts quickly, and it's right there in every grocery store from Boston to Bakersfield. But what many seniors don't realize is that this convenience often comes with a hidden cost, paid by your gut, your digestion, and your long-term health. To keep those tiny shreds from clumping together, manufacturers add anti-caking agents like cellulose or natamycin. Cellulose, often made from wood pulp, isn't toxic, but it's also not digestible. For someone in their 30s, that might not be a big deal. But for people over 60, when the digestive tract is more sensitive and absorption is slower, it can make a real difference. Many older Americans already deal with bloating, irregularity, or irritable bowel symptoms, and processed additives like these can quietly make things worse. Not to mention, pre-shredded cheese often comes from lower quality milk, with higher antibiotic residues and less beneficial fat. The mass production and long shelf life increase the chances of oxidation and bacterial growth, something you don't want in a body with a slower immune response. Barbara from Oregon noticed she felt heavy and bloated after her usual casseroles. When she switched from bagged shredded cheese to freshly grated block cheddar, her stomach calmed down within days. It wasn't about eating less. It was about eating cleaner, with fewer invisible ingredients that confuse the gut. And here's the part most folks never hear. That invisible layer on pre-shredded cheese doesn't just block moisture, it also blocks nutrients. It can interfere with how your body absorbs calcium, protein, and even probiotics from other foods in the same meal. So while it may be tempting to reach for that pre-shredded blend, take a second look. Sometimes, the small act of grating your own cheese is more than tradition. It's a quiet gift to your digestion, your immune system, and your peace of mind. Because in this stage of life, your body deserves simplicity, not shortcuts that cost you later. 3. Cheese spreads, jar. In kitchens across America, tucked beside the crackers or hiding in the fridge door, there's often a familiar jar of cheese spread. It feels comforting, easy, and maybe even nostalgic, something quick to enjoy during a quiet evening or football game. But for many seniors over 60, what's inside that creamy spread can quietly chip away at their heart health and hormone balance without warning. Unlike real cheese, most shelf-stable cheese spreads are packed with trans fats, synthetic emulsifiers, and chemical preservatives. These compounds are designed to give the spread its smooth texture and long shelf life, but they can disrupt how your body functions on the inside. Trans fats, for example, have been proven in studies by the American Heart Association to raise bad cholesterol while lowering the good kind. That's especially dangerous for older adults, since the risk of heart disease already rises sharply after 65. Many of these products also contain MSG and artificial flavor boosters, which may trigger brain fog, headaches, or irregular sleep patterns in sensitive individuals. And then there's phthalates, chemicals used in the packaging that can leach into the food and interfere with hormone regulation. For men, that means lower testosterone. For women, it can mean disrupted sleep, increased belly fat, and mood swings that don't quite make sense. Ellen from Pennsylvania used to enjoy cheese spread every night with crackers, but after switching to aged cheddar and fresh ricotta, she not only lost 5 pounds, she also said her joint stiffness and bloating disappeared. Her doctor explained that the additives in processed cheese spreads were likely stirring up silent inflammation in her gut and bloodstream. Here's the real problem. These spreads are marketed as cheese, but contain very little actual dairy nutrition. You're not getting the calcium, the real protein, or the gut-friendly cultures found in natural cheese. So if you're looking to feel lighter, think clearer, and protect your heart, leave the jar on the shelf, because every bite after 60 counts, and your body deserves food that gives back more than just flavor. 4. Processed cheese slices. Walk into almost any grocery store in America, and you'll find them stacked neatly in bright yellow wrappers, those familiar, convenient slices of processed cheese. For many older adults, they bring back memories of grilled cheese sandwiches at lunch or cheeseburgers at a summer cookout. But behind the nostalgia is a reality that few talk about. These slices aren't really cheese. They're engineered products with a long list of hidden risks. Processed cheese slices are often made with less than 50% actual cheese, bulked up with emulsifiers, artificial coloring, and sodium phosphate. That last one, sodium phosphate, may not sound alarming, but in high amounts, it's been linked to accelerated aging in the kidneys and increased risk of high blood pressure. According to research published by the National Kidney Foundation, older adults are especially vulnerable to phosphate overload, which can stress the kidneys and weaken bones. It's the kind of slow damage you don't feel until your energy drops or your labs come back with unexpected numbers. And there's more, because the proteins in processed slices are heated and altered. They lose their natural structure, making them harder to digest and less useful to your body. That means you're not getting the muscle building or tissue repairing benefits you think you are. Instead, your digestive system has to work harder for less nutrition. Mike from Kansas City shared that after swapping out his usual cheese slices for small portions of real cheddar, his blood pressure dropped and his digestion improved noticeably. He said he hadn't realized how something so ordinary could be causing so much internal stress. For older Americans, especially those managing chronic conditions, every bite matters more. We're not just feeding hunger, we're supporting memory, muscle, mobility, and mood with every meal. And choosing real food, like natural cheese, gives your body something it can actually use. So next time you reach for that bright plastic-wrapped square, pause. Your body has carried you a long way, and it deserves more than a shortcut. It deserves something real, something healing, something made for this chapter of life. By the time we reach our 60s or 70s, many things change quietly inside the body, even if we still feel sharp and capable on the outside. And for older adults across the United States, one of the biggest invisible shifts is how the body digests and absorbs nutrients, especially from common foods like cheese. You see, aging naturally reduces stomach acid and slows the movement of the digestive tract. That means protein and calcium, two key nutrients found in cheese, are harder for the body to break down and absorb effectively. It's one reason why so many seniors experience weaker muscles, brittle bones, or slower healing, even when they eat what they believe is a healthy diet. The food goes in, but not enough of the good stuff gets through. At the same time, processed cheeses, especially spreads, slices, and shelf-stable types, contain compounds like tyramine and sodium phosphate. For someone younger, these ingredients might pass unnoticed. But for someone over 60, they can affect blood pressure, increase inflammation, or stress the kidneys and heart more than expected. Because as we age, our internal filters, like the liver and kidneys, work less efficiently, making it harder to handle chemical additives. Another quiet factor is the gut microbiome. Years of antibiotics, stress, and processed foods can throw off the balance of bacteria in the digestive system. And when we eat cheeses that contain preservatives, emulsifiers, or lack live cultures, it can worsen that imbalance, leading to gas, bloating, brain fog, or even mood changes. This is why so many older Americans feel off after meals, but can't quite explain why. The truth is, the heart, bones, brain, and gut all become more sensitive with age. So what we used to enjoy freely in our 30s might now carry silent consequences if we're not paying attention. That doesn't mean giving up cheese. It means choosing the right kind. Rich in nutrients, low in chemicals, easy to digest, and designed to support the body, not challenge it. Because in this chapter of life, food isn't just fuel. It's medicine, memory, and momentum. And every choice we make matters more than ever. When it comes to cheese, many older adults in America face a quiet dilemma. We love the comfort, the flavor, the memories tied to grilled cheese sandwiches or Sunday pasta, but we're also told to be careful. Careful with the salt, careful with the fat, careful with digestion. And yet, cheese doesn't have to be the enemy. In fact, when eaten the right way, it can be a gentle, nourishing ally for people over 60. The key lies in how much, when, and what you pair it with. Let's start with portion size, because it matters more than many people think. For older adults, the recommended serving is about 1 to 1 ounces per meal, and no more than 2 to 3 times a week. That's roughly the size of 4 dice or 2 thumb-size cubes, not a full sandwich or overflowing nacho plate. Small but mighty, especially when the cheese is high quality, aged, and rich in nutrients like calcium, protein, and vitamin K2. Timing also plays a quiet but powerful role. The best time to enjoy cheese is after a main meal, not on an empty stomach. When you eat cheese alone, especially late at night, it can sit heavy in your belly and disrupt digestion or sleep. But paired with a meal, it slows the release of sugars, supports satiety, and is easier for your stomach to process. This is especially true if you combine cheese with fiber-rich foods like apple slices, whole grain bread, or fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or kimchi. For example, Barbara from Minnesota shared that since she started adding a small piece of Gruyere with lunch and a slice of pear, her afternoon energy levels improved. She no longer felt heavy, bloated, or sleepy, and her digestion became more regular. The secret wasn't just what she ate, but how and when she ate it. Another important tip: don't overheat cheese, especially if it's raw or aged. Once you cook cheese over 120 degrees, many of its natural enzymes and beneficial bacteria are destroyed. That means you lose out on the digestive support and anti-inflammatory compounds that make cheese special in the first place. So instead of frying or microwaving it, let it warm gently on top of toast or into a bowl of soup. And a final note: avoid eating cheese late at night, especially right before bed. Many seniors report heartburn, gas, or restless sleep when they snack on cheese too close to bedtime. Give your body at least 2 hours to digest before lying down, and you may notice a big difference in how you feel the next morning. In this stage of life, cheese doesn't need to be feared. It just needs to be respected. And when chosen wisely, in the right amount, and at the right time, it becomes more than just food. It becomes a small, steady act of care for your bones, your gut, your heart, and your peace of mind. Growing older in America doesn't mean giving up the foods you love. It simply means getting smarter about what your body needs right now. And when it comes to cheese, the message isn't avoid it, it's choose it wisely. Because the truth is, certain cheeses can gently support your heart, your bones, your digestion, even your memory without asking you to give up flavor or joy. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive, not weaker, just different. The systems that once ran effortlessly now need a little more attention, a little more care. Choosing the right cheese in the right portion at the right time becomes more than just a food decision. It becomes a quiet act of health, a way to support your blood pressure, reduce inflammation, and get the restful sleep your body depends on. You don't have to change everything overnight, but maybe this week you try one new kind of cheese, like aged Gouda instead of processed slices, or you skip the cheese spread and enjoy a piece of raw cheddar with apple. These small steps add up, and your body feels the difference long before you even notice it. So now, I'd love to hear from you. What's the one cheese you can't imagine giving up, even after hearing all this? Or maybe you have made a switch that helped your digestion or your sleep. Tell me in the comments below. I read every one, and your story might just help someone else somewhere in the country feel seen and supported. And remember this, growing older in America is not about restriction. It's about recognition, about tuning into your body and giving it the kindness it has earned. Because your later years aren't about shrinking. They're about deepening, softening, and learning to nourish yourself with more intention. So here's my wish for you. May each bite you take bring strength, clarity, and comfort. Because this chapter of life is yours, and your body, just like your story, deserves to be cared for with love.